Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh. At the time of the Prophet Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam, there used to be a justice ruler in Abyssinia in Ethiopia, and his name used to be Najashi. When the Prophet Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam got the revelation, and few people became Muslim, and the Muslims were very weak. The Quraysh tribe were very strong, and they didn't like that Muhammad came with a new religion. That's how they saw it. He came with a new religion. He's not worshipping the same idols we used to. Now they want to worship something else. They want to worship Allah. That's what they claimed. The Muslims were very weak. They were helpless. They had nobody to protect them. They had nobody to help them. They had to migrate to Ethiopia. The Prophet ﷺ said, in Ethiopia at that time, Abyssinia, the Prophet ﷺ said, in Abyssinia there is a just ruler who is fair. He doesn't oppress people. He treats people fairly. And he ordered around between 80 to 100 Sahaba to migrate to Abyssinia, which is the current Ethiopia. And the king of Abyssinia at that time was Najashi. So between 80 to 100 Sahaba migrated to Abyssinia, and some of these Sahabas are the greatest Sahabas, like Uthman bin Affan, Abdullah bin Mas'ud, Zainab, the daughter of the Prophet Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam, Habiba, and Salama, Abdullah bin Zubair, Ja'far bin Abi Talib, Ali bin Abi Talib's brother, and other big Sahabas. They all migrated to Abyssinia. Then Quraysh, the enemy at that time of the Prophet sallallahu alaihi wasallam, and the Muslims heard about this. As soon as they heard, they followed him, and they sent Amr bin al-As. He wasn't Muslim yet. The Quraysh, they sent Amr bin al-As and Abdullah ibn Rabi'ah. Okay, they were not Muslims yet at this time. And Amr bin al-As was around 45 years old, and he has been to Abyssinia many times, and he knows the king Najashi. He knows him very well, and he knows everybody in the upper position, people who are in power. So when Amr bin al-As reached Abyssinia, he did not meet the king yet. He didn't want to meet the king first. He met the other people, the advisors and his assistants and his consultants, and he started bribing them. He gave them gifts, he gave them gold, so that way they can go and convince the king Najashi to release the Muslims in his hand and to bring them back. And he lied. He said, the Muslims who came here, they're our slaves, and they ran away, which is not true. They were not slaves. Then the advisors of the king Najashi, his bishops, went to him, and they said, these people, they ran away from their masters, they're slaves and stuff like that. And then Amr bin As basically said the same thing. We want them back. They ran away. We want to take them back. Because the king was genius, he was smart, and he was fair. He wanted to hear the other side of the story. The Sahabas, one of the Sahabas who migrated was also Ja'far bin Abi Talib, Ali bin Abi Talib's brother. So when the king gave the Muslims the opportunity to speak, Ja'far bin Abi Talib spoke. He was 27, by the way. Ja'far radiallahu anhu was only 27 years old. And he spoke. And when he spoke, he didn't say a lot. He only said a few sentences. But these sentences were powerful. And he started reading from Surah Maryam. قال إني عبد الله آتاني الكتاب وجعلني نبيا وجعلني مباركا أينما كنت وأوصاني بالصلاة والزكاة ما دمت حيا وبرا بوالدتي ولم يجعلني جبارا شقيا والسلام علي يوم ولدت ويوم أموت ويوم أبعث حيا ذلك عيسى ابن مريم قول الحق الذي فيه يمترون ما كان لله أن يتخذ من ولد سبحانه إذا قضى أمرا فإنما يقول له كن فيكون وإن الله ربي وربكم فاعبدوه هذا صراط مستقيم. When Ja'far bin Abi Talib read these verses, the Najashi, the king, started crying. He started crying and his heart started changing and leaning towards Islam. Then after that, Ja'far bin Abi Talib added and stated, O king, he's talking to Najashi, we were a people of ignorance. We worshipped idols, ate dead animals, committed immoral acts, severed family ties, and mistreated our neighbors. The strong among us oppressed the weak. Then he continued and he said, Allah sent us Prophet Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam to guide us, to show us the right path. They knew the Prophet sallallahu alaihi wasallam was truthful and noble. He was known as the trustworthy, the true teller. He never ever lied, sallallahu alaihi wasallam. And then he said, he, meaning the Prophet sallallahu alaihi wasallam, instructed us to be truthful, fulfill their trusts, maintain family ties, and treat neighbors kindly and the best way possible. And he forbade immoral behavior, immoral acts, false testimony, and the consumption of orphans' wealth. Then after that, Ja'far bin Abi Talib added, he said, our Prophet ﷺ told us that you are a king who does not oppress anyone, a king who is just, a king who listens to people and who treats people fairly. When Najashi heard this, his heart became comfortable. He became happy inside to hear this. Then after that, subhanallah, Allah is the one who controls the heart. Najashi, he liked what he heard from Ja'far bin Abi Talib radiallahu anh, and he started crying, and he told Amr bin al-As and Abdullah bin Rabi'ah, you are not taking these people. Go back, leave my town and go back. And he let the Muslims stay in Abyssinia, and he eventually accepted and became Muslim. This is the story of first migration of the Sahaba from Makkah Mukarramah to Abyssinia to Habasha and the king of Najashi.